Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. We have made it to the greatest show of the week once more for the final time in 2K17, and it ends not in America. That is right, we are going to be bringing the best wrestling in the world to one of the great countries that knows wrestling. In Japan, I think it's Niigata. Don't want to pronounce that one wrong, but you know what? I'm going to go with Niigata for that one. And yes, we are here for another big night. Big matches all over the shop. I know we're kicking things off for the Cruiserweight Championship matches I announced, but there are still some huge matches, and I got to talk about the two main events basically that we've got going on here tonight. Coming up later on tonight, Bray, Wyatt and Samoa Joe will go one-on-one with each other. Just before Samoa Joe at No Way Out goes one-on-one with an old rival in Aleister Black. That one promises to be huge between those two men, and I cannot wait for it. Two basically big horses colliding man-to-man, face-to-face. It promises to be a huge affair. And then we got to move our attention away quickly from that. When we speak of Aleister Black, he'll be in the main event taking on the #1 contender for the ECW Championship. That is right, Bobby Roode, the glorious one, this Sunday will attempt to take that ECW Championship away from Seth Rollins and try to become the glorious ECW Champion. I wish him the best of luck in that regard. Seth Rollins not here tonight. He's training hard ahead of No Way Out, as only the best can do, and as only the best should be able to do better than anyone else. Bobby Roode will have a tough challenge here tonight in Aleister Black, who has been almost unstoppable since his arrival in this universe. But will Samoa Joe taking on his leader Bray Wyatt, and also realizing how close he is to Samoa Joe here tonight, will it make a difference in regards to what transpires at the in the main event tonight? We'll have to wait and see if that's the case, but we're going to get things underway now. Triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Gargano and Ciampa look to take that championship away from Neville. Can they do it? Let's find out. Well, here we go. Let's kick this huge episode of ECW off right. Let's get these fans in Japan up to their feet with some Cruiserweight action. Gargano and Ciampa of DIY look to try and, well, there is a debate surrounding that. Will they work together here in an attempt to become the Cruiserweight Champion, or will they just go full steam ahead to try and take that title home? Because at the end of the day, only one of them can be the Cruiserweight Champion. Only one of them will get to lift that crown. And the big question is, when you think about it, no matter what, is which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Gargano, or is it going to be Ciampa of them two? Of course, I'm not counting out Neville at all. I'm just saying within DIY, who is going to take home that title? Because you've got to remember, the key thing here is both these men have wins over Neville. They both know they can beat the champion in one-on-one action. They've done it over these last 2 weeks. But how do they go about this matchup? Do they take out Neville and make it all about themselves? Or is it just an all-around triple threat affair until someone just so happens to pick up the win? But then does that result in a problem of not taking care of Neville, giving him time to get back into this match, and somehow meaning that the King of the Cruiserweights walks away from this match still as the Cruiserweight Champion? Maybe it does. Maybe it does indeed. But one thing is for sure, all three of these men, I do believe, have, well, you know, on paper they have an equal chance, but in the ring as well, I think they're all split. I know Neville has lost to both of these men in the last 2 weeks, but we are dealing with the man who can call himself the King of the Cruiserweights and get away with it. He's overcome the dreaded Suicide, who was near unstoppable until Neville defeated him. He's the only Cruiserweight Champion to have ever defended his championship successfully in a 6-man ladder match. He overcame a fatal 4-way at Anarchy Rules when he didn't even know his opponents. Neville, within this Cruiserweight division, is a machine. He is incredible. However, and that's the key point to take into account there, however, he still has those 2 losses to those 2 men. So even though he has achieved what he has achieved on the build-up to those two matches, the losses to Gargano and Ciampa almost negate that out, almost flatten them out. And it just ends up resulting in a situation where you've got these two men who have these victories, and it just kind of means that Neville's almost on an even footing with the rest of them. The way you gotta look at it though, Ciampa has experience in this forte. He's a former Cruiserweight Champion in his own right. 2017's been a good year for Ciampa in one-on-one action. He was the runner-up in the King of the Ring earlier this year. Gargano, of course, is the only one out of these three men to not hold the Cruiserweight Championship. So the big question is, in that retrospect, does that have extra hunger for Gargano? Does that mean he desires the championship more than the other two men? Maybe not Neville, because Neville's always hungry for that championship. He's always hungry for that title. And we'll see what will happen here tonight. Gargano going after Neville for a second. Ciampa wanted Gargano, and now Neville doing the very smart thing here. The champion making the two men respect one another fight. But I know backstage before this show got underway, DIY had to talk about it. And they set everything aside and they said tonight they go at it. Tonight they will go to war, if needs be, to win that Cruiserweight Championship. Once that bell rings, there are no friends. And Neville is making sure that they realize that no matter what, in the mind of the champion, there is always no friends. Trying to attack him with a bat, but Gargano and Ciampa are too vested in this one. Gargano takes the belt away, takes the bat even away from the champ and decks him with it. Neville retreating to the outside once more. Gargano and Ciampa continuing on their fight here. So I think what Neville's plan is as well is every time he gets hit, he's going to try and get on the outside for as long as he can, maybe bide himself some breathing room. And that makes those two attack each other even more. But the big question is, in that regard, is Neville going to be able to get in enough offense? Is he going to be able to get in enough momentum to try and put this match away with getting minimal involvement in it? Well, Ciampa's going to roll to the outside here, it seems, and that leaves Neville alone with Gargano. And here goes the king of the cruiserweights now, unloading away with strikes onto Johnny Wrestling. But look at that step up in Zaguri there by Gargano. Quick start. I'd argue out of these three men thus far, Gargano's had the best start of the three. He is very hungry to win that Cruiserweight Championship. Gargano up to the top rope here. Big missile drop kick. Neville goes down. Gargano has Ciampa going right for him here, which is quite surprising, to be fair. that is the case. Ciampa now in position. What a flip out there by Gargano. Johnny Wrestling. Incredible start by him here in this one as he tries to win that Cruiserweight Championship. Neville, simple but effective crucifix. Ciampa breaks it up. And I was about to say, I think this should be the moment where we see Gargano go to the outside, and it shall be Neville and Ciampa now locking horns with one another. Nice drop kick there by Neville. Let's see what the king can do now to try and regain control here of his kingdom. Nothing more, it seems. Ciampa able to fight back quickly. Neville in trouble. Power bomb incoming. Neville's out of it. Just what he needed, but he's in a bit of a DIY sandwich right there. He flips out of that one though. Great work by Neville and sends Gargano into the corner. Almost sent him into Ciampa. Ciampa knocks him down. Double knee facebuster and goes right after Gargano. The psycho killer now in control of this one. What a highly emphatic start this has been. Look at this now by Ciampa. The strength of him. Lifts him up in that Alabama slam and then dumps him down on his neck. Dumps Neville down as well as he gets back in the ring. This is incredible by Tomasso Ciampa as he just fights on anyone who will come after him. Neville up on the top rope here. Oh, drop kick into the back of Tomasso Ciampa. A little bit of hunger being possessed by all men, and maybe we can see it finally try and slow down a little bit here. Right from the start, this has been rife with action. And Neville's now getting himself a lot more involved in this one. Uh-oh, Ciampa got something here. A single leg lock here by Ciampa. Gonna try and hope that he can make Neville tap out again. Both these men, of course, beat Neville via submission. The Fujiwara armbar by Ciampa and the Gargano escape from Johnny Wrestling. Another Tiger Bomb. Another counter by Neville. Can he get himself out of this one, though? Single underhook suplex, and this time the King had nowhere to go, and he's out of here. Oh, what were you thinking there, Gargano? Where are you going? Oh, okay. Not too sure what that was all about, but Gargano laid out. Neville looking for something. Sunset flip by Ciampa. Will he win the title with this one? Into the cover he goes. There's two, and so nearly won it. Kick out of two by Neville. Uh-oh, from behind. Back suplex for the champion. DIY really are playing up to that all for every man for themselves role. They have gone after each other more than they've gone after the champion. Gargano in position, looking for something big. Oh, and that's exactly what he wanted. Shining Wizard there. Is this a good idea by Johnny Wrestling, though, to take a little break to the turnbuckle, giving all three men a chance to recover, especially Neville on the outside, who has no threat to worry about there being attacked. Gargano now look for something. Ciampa pulled out the reversal. Gargano pulled out the reversal. Neville can just basically watch from afar here as these two men go at it. Double knee gutbuster, though. Ciampa will take a roll outside of the ring. Oh, Gargano in position here. Gonna look for a power bomb. Nails it on Neville. The cover after it. Gonna try and win the title here. Kick out by Neville early, but into the Boston Crab. Locked in deep there on the champion. Ciampa forcing his way back up to his feet. Gargano hasn't seen him. Neville hangs on long enough so that he can get himself out of that one. Ciampa goes right back into another cover, and it's broken up. Oh, look at this. German suplex now. Gargano all sorts of fired up and ready to go. Is there anything Johnny Wrestling can't do in this moment to try and become Cruiserweight Champion? I'm surprised he's going after Ciampa, though, and not the champion who is down on the mat and seemingly wounded as well. Real surprising, and Neville makes him pay for it. Drop kick. Oh no, he's going to the top rope. He completely sidestepped him there for whatever reason. And Gargano makes him pay. Stiff knee in the face. Counter though by Neville. And look at that. Cannonball sent on more so than anything. Crash and burn. Neville rolls out of the ring. All three men down now. They want to get up as quickly as possible. The Cruiserweight Championship's on the line here, but it's showing how in this short amount of time, how far all three men have gone to try and win that title. All three of them slowly getting up to their feet there. Gargano up, Neville up, Ciampa up. Almost in unison with one another. Double knee face buster now as Neville watches on. Oh God, sling blade by Ciampa. Psycho killer here after it, looking for the title. No, Neville kicking out early. This crowd is on their feet here in Japan for this one. Gargano crawling back up to his feet with everything he has within him. Ciampa in position, looked as if he wanted to hit maybe ProJaked Ciampa, but Johnny Gargano doesn't allow that to happen. Gargano now turns around Neville, sends him into the corner as well. Ciampa on the outside. Step up Enziguri is countered. Michinoku driver by Gargano into the cover now to try and seize victory, to try and seize the title. Oh, he almost had it. Neville is in a great deal of danger here each time. Gargano looks for something, and Gargano might look for his springboard spear here onto Neville. What a counter there by that champion. Sidestepped it perfectly. Up in the air now, brainbuster maybe. Neville not interested in that. And he gets a counter out of it. Back suplex there, and an elbow drop follow-up as Gargano retreats to the outside. Sling blade by Ciampa. Non-stop action in this one. Cover once more, but a very early kick out by Neville there. Really does beg the question though. With all three of these men working as hard as they are, who can walk out with that belt? I think Neville just got busted open by that elbow. He did. The champion may be in a bit of trouble here. Dropped on his head there, essentially, with that back suplex. Neville has an opening. Neville has a great opening to capitalize. Red arrow by the champion. Look at this incredible feat of agility. The red arrow into the cover he goes. Gargano willing himself up, but Ciampa kicks out. Absolutely incredible. Gargano with an opening now. Neville somehow finds a way to flip his way out of it. Gargano in yet more trouble. Neville with a huge run up for it, just for the sake of it. What will Neville do here? The King is almost in control of this one now. Or maybe I was wrong. Ciampa, the Fujiwara armbar. Gargano's down. I don't think he knows what's going on. Trying to will his way up as quickly as possible now. The armbar cinched in deep. Will Neville tap? No, he won't. Gargano makes a desperate save to try and hold on to a chance of winning that title. Ciampa rolls to the outside. Gargano looks to capitalize with a cover. Neville maybe too worn out. Oh, what a kick out. What a late kick out by the champion. Over the top rope now. Johnny Gargano looking to capitalize on an incredible opportunity. DDT on the apron. Is this Johnny Wrestling's moment? Is this where he makes history for himself? He launches Neville back in the ring. The champ is out. He's not moving. Or maybe he is. Somehow Neville's back up to his feet, and I don't know how. Neville now rolling up Gargano. This can't happen. Ciampa in to make the save, and no, Gargano still kicks out. Uh-oh, double knee gutbuster for the champion, and he needs that break more so than anything right now. Ciampa, Michinoku driver into the cover right away. Is Gargano too worn out to kick out? No, he's still got something left in him. I need a moment after this one. I'm out of breath here. I can only imagine what they're like in the ring. Gargano now. Gargano is busted open. And I have no idea what DIY are doing now. Now they're just playing around. And Neville doesn't like that. He doesn't like playing around. This is serious business for the champion. Ciampa the only one not busted open right now. And of course it is the hard man. You know, the one with the nickname the Psycho Killer, who isn't busted open. Up on the top rope, Neville is perched slowly by Gargano. Uh-oh. Drop kick there, but it's sidestepped. Neville in a little bit of trouble. Counter though when Gargano gets dragon screwed. Gargano rolls out of the ring now. Can Neville capitalize with everything he's been through? Northern Light suplex. No way, he's still got enough in him. Neville up to the top rope. Neville now with a second red arrow. Somehow, some way, I think we just witnessed the King hang on to his throne. Neville retains the Cruiserweight title. Wow. Oh, I am absolutely mesmerized there. What an opening to ECW that one was. What a Cruiserweight Championship match. But the feat still remains true. The King rules his division. But it was so close to a successful revolution over his throne. Do you know what? As great as a match that was, and as great as a defense as it was for Neville, let's all give a moment to congratulate Johnny Gargano on that one. So close. Inches away from becoming Cruiserweight Champion. One day, if he's able to keep going like that, there might be big things on the horizon for Johnny Wrestling. But that is, of course, to come in the future. As for the present, Neville still stands atop it. What an opening that was, but we're going to move on now to our next matchup. We're going to move on to a tag team match. The new and improved 4 Horsemen again are ready to go right back into action. Coming up next, Chris Jericho and Roderick Strong against the premier athlete, Tony Nese and Gregory Helms. Well, now that I've caught my breath, and now that I've finally caught back up with everything that transpired in that one, we can relax a little bit. The tag team matchup between two tough teams, I think. I mean, we've certainly been seeing Helms and Nese tag up a little bit lately on the house show circuit as well. They've been teaming up as well. They haven't had a win on TV yet, but I think that one may still be some time away, to be fair, given that tonight they're taking on the Four Horsemen now with a little bit of new fire to them, a little bit of new passion to them. The new leader of the group, of course, Chris Jericho, with his co-compatriot Roderick Strong. Still a little bit of doubt surrounding what is going to happen with the Four Horsemen, but I can confirm next week on ECW, in the first ECW of 2K18, Chris Jericho will clarify everything, sort it all out, and let us know what the situation is in regards to the Four Horsemen. An announcement on Baron Corbin and an announcement on a new member. My little noggin knocker up here has a few theories in his mind, and I think I know just what is going to transpire in that accord. So that being said, the premier athlete anyway and Gregory Helms come towards the ring. Of course, they could be future challengers for the Cruiserweight Championship down the line, but right now, the premier athlete and Shane Helms, or Gregory Helms even, my apologies, are too focused on, it seems, if trying to add to a tag team division that already has a lot of people that the fans don't like in it. We got AOP, we got the Wyatt family, we got the Usos, we got these guys, we got 4 teams there who the fans don't like, and then on the other side we got the Horsemen, DIY, and the Champions. I think that's it, right? Split 4-3. And Benoit Malenko, so it's actually split 4-4 when you think about it. I thought it were less good guy, less faces than heels, I guess you could say. But apparently I've been proven wrong, and I guess with all the other variations of the Four Horsemen as well, you get a completely different swing on things as well. Are there any other tag teams on this brand I'm missing out on? I don't think so. I think I picked up on all of them. Of course, we had the Dirty Heels, but Axel now, of course, has gone to Raw, and Austin Aries is still looking for a break here on ECW, and amongst all the incredible talent that we have on here. So, anyway, Jericho and Arn Anderson, of course, competed for the ECW tag team titles last week in what was an incredible tag team matchup and a great send-off, more so than anything. For Arn Anderson, they came so close to achieving greatness. They came so close to winning those titles, but in the end, AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels were just something else. Jericho took the fall, but it was backstage where the real kind of ceremonies began. It was a great deal of respect from the Four Horsemen themselves. I'm trying to think of everyone that came out. The Four Horsemen came out, of course. Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho said their thank yous. Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko did as well. It was an incredible, it was a really respectful moment to cap off a great career for Arn Anderson, and I do wish him the best. I know, of course, he's going to be taking a backseat role in the Horsemen. We may well see Arn Anderson from time to time in this universe, because we will no longer be seeing him in ring. The Four Horsemen now in the in-ring department is relied upon by Y2J Chris Jericho, with that man right there, Roddy Strong, kind of peeking in from the sidelines. Oh, there's Roddy having his way early on, leaping knee into the chest of Gregory Helms even. Nice counter there though by Gregory Helms, and of course, even though the focus right now, you could argue, is on the Four Horsemen, there is still a standout opportunity for Nese and Helms to prove that they are a tag team that people should really pay attention to. In amongst this, I did say, to be fair, fairly split down the middle tag team division, but one thing they are also is a lot of muscle mass. And to do that, you look towards the Wyatt family, and then you look at AOP, with the Authors of Pain, and you realize that whenever Authors of Pain decide to show back up, I'm not too sure where they've been as of late, they've been just kind of off in the distance. Once they've done whatever they're doing, and they come back. That tag team division is about to get a whole lot more dangerous. Here goes Roddy Strong now, in position. Double knee gutbuster to the premier athlete. Nese in a whole world of trouble. The Four Horsemen seemingly having a walkover in this one. Quite the contrast to the match we just saw beforehand, where it was a lot of back and forth. And oh, look at this is a page out of Y2J's book. A move seemingly made popular by Chris Jericho, the triangle drop kick. And Y2J just had to watch it being hit onto his fellow Four Horsemen member. But on Anderson, nope, that's not him anymore. Roddy Strong is quick to recover. The man who, of course, just a few weeks ago, or I guess a month ago, no, not a month ago, a few weeks ago, was challenging for that ECW championship. He knows how to handle himself within that ring, but Tony Nese making life difficult there. Back suplex powerbomb, kind of, or something along those lines. Kind of weird that Nese is going for the pin now when he didn't decide to go for a pin right away there. Perhaps second guessing himself. Kick out early on there by Roddy Strong. Great Irish whip there in the turnbuckle goes now. Tag made. What can we see here from the Horsemen? Look at the great strength there, just holding Nese there. Oh, even though Nese is a cruiserweight, he is without a doubt, pound for pound, one of the toughest cruiserweights. He doesn't have the body of a cruiserweight, that's for sure. He certainly looks like he has incredible muscle mass, and he proves it there with a gut-wrench powerbomb with relative ease onto Chris Jericho. Tag made here, back in comes Helms. These two men are doing a very strong job right now of taking it to the Horsemen. Win or lose right now, Helms and Nese have got their names out in the spotlight, I guess you could say. Jericho, good counter there with a neck breaker. What will Y2J look for here? The most experienced of the four men in the ring. Jericho, a two-time tag team champion within this universe. And might be looking to, of course, progress towards a third one eventually. Perhaps with Roddy Strong. Jericho now in position. Look at the great elevation there, the great verticalness of that suplex, I guess you could say, from Jericho. And there's the classic Y2J as he shows off a little bit there. Gotta love it. It's great to see the Four Horsemen, under Jericho at least, working with a lot of business, but also having some fun while doing it. Lion salt there from Jericho, which we haven't seen in a long time. Cover on Helms. Interesting that Nese didn't do anything. Maybe he knew Helms would kick out of that one. What could we see here now from the Horsemen? In the corner now is Helms, but it's a great counter by him to get out of the ring. To get out of the way of trouble. Sent back into the corner though he is, and once more he gets his way out of it. Good stuff from Helms. Jericho though having none of it. Helms having none of it. Back and forth reversals between these two men. Helms taking a moment to almost pose. Seems to have something in mind right now. Snake eyes maybe for Jericho. Yes it is. Y2J head first there. Jericho with a veteran-like reversal. Small package roll up there on Helms to try and claim victory. Early kick out by Shane Helms, and you see when what's interesting is when Nese gets in the ring, he kind of walks into the halfway line of the ring, I guess, or the center of the ring, and then progressively walks out, which I find kind of interesting, whereas Roddy just gets right back out of the ring. Roddy tagged in and looks to finish it already. End of heartache for Gregory Helms. But it doesn't look like his job was to finish the match. It looks like his job was to add towards ending it instead, because now I know what's next. Jericho in position. Thought he was going to go for the Lion Tamer. Seems as if that's not the case. Maybe Jericho's second guessing what he wanted there. Sidesteps. Codebreaker by Jericho. That's it. I think that one should be the be-all, end-all. Jericho moving Helms back a little bit so it's more difficult for Nese to get to him. There's the 3 count. There's the win for the Horsemen. The new and improved Four Horsemen with a successful victory there. Well, I say improved, but that, new certainly in the tag team variation, and under new leadership, it just maintains to see if they can be improved or not. We'll wait and see until next week, of course, what is new for the Horsemen, what has changed to the Horsemen, and what is going to happen with Baron Corbin and that empty Horseman slot. I gotta be honest, I don't know, but I'm excited, because one thing is for sure, whoever Jericho sees as a future talent of ECW, they're going to be good, whoever it is. He has made a name out of Baron Corbin and Roddy Strong already. Granted, of course, working alongside Arn Anderson, but still. He knows what to do. I think Jericho has got the 4 Horsemen under tap. And who knows, 4 Horsemen eventually, they could get a lot of names going for them. We talk about how kind of strong the Wyatt family is. They could illustrate it. They could end up having to go face-to-face at some point. We'll just have to maintain and see about that. But we're going to move on to our next contest. What promises to be, I think, an entertaining contest, to say the least. Sami Callihan, who of course last week was unable to become the #1 contender for the ECW Television Championship. Well, tonight he goes one-on-one with one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions. Up next, Sami Callihan and AJ Styles. I mean, I never lie when I say that we do produce the best matchups, we do produce the best content, we do produce the very best of the best when it comes to ECW, and here is a man who is quickly rising through the ranks to his own level of stardom and to his own level of success. Sami Callihan, who of course has only been here now for what, 3 weeks maybe at this point, maybe 4, maybe 3.5, something along those lines. But regardless of that, the fact still maintains the same, that in that time Sami Callihan has defeated a former ECW and WWE champion in Sheamus, and very nearly last week became the #1 contender for the ECW Television Championship, and now tonight takes on a former world champion and a Grand Slam champion in AJ Styles. That doesn't show you what I view in the mindset of Sami Callihan and how I view Sami Callihan, and I don't know what will, because honestly, to pick this guy up and for him to not have to go through NXT, of him to not go to another brand in that time, was a steal like no other. But here is one of those men that I got drafted way back around WrestleMania time, and oh my god, has he been something to the ECW brand or what? AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, who at any time, and I mean this when I say it, at any time, is a main eventer. Just click the finger and AJ Styles is suddenly main eventing. That's the level of stardom that this guy brings to the table. 2-time United States champion, I believe myself in saying. 2-time tag team champion. Former Cruiserweight champion. Former ECW champion. AJ Styles has achieved a lot of success, and he's achieved a lot of it with ECW gold as well. Kind of showing how almost AJ Styles was made by the ECW brand, and he continues to make the ECW brand what it is today by putting on performances as he does week in and week out, as he did in that tag match last week against Arn Anderson and Chris Jericho, and as I imagine this matchup will be tonight between AJ Styles and Sami Callihan. Shawn Michaels not going to be at ringside because Callihan and Styles have the respect for one another. They know how talented these two men are. And even though Styles and Michaels are a tag team, when it comes to one-on-one action, they're both credible enough. They're both former ECW champions in their own right. They know how to hold it down in that ring. They don't need their tag team partner helping them out along the way. Sami Callihan getting things underway here with that arm lock stitched in. AJ Styles wants to get his way out of that one, it seems, ASAP. And, a wrench on the arm. They're making it a little bit more difficult for Sami Callihan early on. But they showed the respect between the two. Callihan now throwing that one out of the way. Styles, who of course has only been tag team champions for as long as Sami Callihan's been in this universe. Won it on the same night as Callihan debuted from the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Strowman certainly proved that he wasn't all that happy about the tag team loss last week when he decimated Sheamus. Well, I say decimated. Sheamus did put up a bit of a fight, to be fair. But still, the point maintains the true. Braun Strowman not happy at all with what transpired at Anarchy Rules, and I imagine the same applies to their leader, Bray Wyatt. But we're not focusing on Bray here, we're not focusing on Strowman here, we're focusing on Callihan and Styles, who are getting things firmly on the go here. Callihan's had a little bit more control in this matchup, I believe, than AJ Styles. And Callihan's making it work to his advantage. Strong back suplex there. First cover of the match here initiated by Callihan. Trying to put away Styles early on. Not going to work for the phenomenal one. What will we see now? Nice headlock. Well, you know, he had the, not headlock, the leg lock there, I guess, or leg scissors. Leg triangle, whatever else you want to say. Callihan now. Going to go up to the top rope here. Will this one pay off? Went for a splash. And he didn't connect with it. Callihan, of course, looking to bounce back from his first loss in this universe last week, which he suffered to Samoa Joe. And oh, what a Pele kick by Styles. I say that almost every match, but the point maintains the same. It is an incredible Pele kick by Styles and a single underhook brainbuster there. The phenomenal one firing away here on Callihan into a quick cover. Callihan out at one. Referee did take a little bit of time to get into the pin on that one though. Sami Callihan with the reversal in the corner. Flying knee. Bulldog follow-up. Styles had all of that one. Now what can Callihan look for from here? Up on his shoulders. Death Valley driver maybe for Styles. No, Styles looks like he's able to get his way out of that one, and he does just that. Opening here for Styles, and he'll capitalize with a phenomenal blitz onto Sami Callihan. A blitzkrieg of strikes by AJ Styles, and a really theatric frog splash to follow up. Cover now by Styles, going to try and put away Callihan. Yes, still a lot of fight left in the newest signee to ECW. Put him right in the head there with that elbow. It's AJ Styles now. Well, that was the Commentator's Curse. I was about to say has total control in this one, but Callihan seems to think a different way to AJ Styles. Step of Enziguri. Callihan now goes into the cover. I think we're still looking for our first 2 count of this matchup. We were getting it there as Styles kicked out at 1. Leg triangle once more. Styles able to pop his head out of it and continue on his way. What we see here, Styles with a great opening. He's got Callihan on the apron. This one's going to hurt for Callihan. He's going to feel this one tomorrow. Back suplex on the apron. The hardest part of the ring for Callihan to endure. But the Callihan Death Machine has been through far worse than a little back suplex on the apron. And he's making sure AJ Styles is aware of that one ASAP. Oh, here we go, up on the top turnbuckle, now they go. This one could well be a huge impact for both men. Callihan in position, looking for a superplex here. And he gets it! Big superplex there to Styles. Can AJ Styles find an opening here? Yes, he can. Great sweep of the legs. And now the phenomenal one suddenly has his opening. Elbow drop there down on the chest. Forearm shot. Now Styles trying to keep it basic there with a few strikes. Sami Callihan didn't pique his interest, but Styles is quick to counter back here. Back and forth by both men right now in this one. Powerbomb by Styles. Flips over with the cover. Really nice bridge by the phenomenal one to try and put away Callihan. It's a 2 count. I think that's the first one of the match thus far. What a competitive matchup this has been since the opening bell between these two men. Callihan with another counter there. And it's a lovely belly to Styles. And into another cover there goes Sami Callihan. Still can't get the first 2 count on Styles. This crowd in Japan, though, absolutely loving this one. Sami Callihan getting a little bit vicious there. Not afraid to do just that. That's for sure. And now Callihan with an opening, with his name written all over it. Death Valley driver to Styles. The phenomenal one in trouble here. Could be a huge win on its way for the Callihan Death Machine. And it doesn't look like Sami Callihan's done just yet, though. Shining Wizard for Styles to deal with. And another cover here by Sami Callihan. So many pinfall attempts, and AJ Styles showing his expertise, I should say, by kicking out as many times as he can. What's Callihan going to do here now? Looked like he was perhaps looking for something from the legs, but Styles, that didn't gel in mind of AJ Styles. And it's a quick counter by the phenomenal one and a German suplex that turns things around. Now what though? Sami Callihan seemed like he was on his way there to perhaps claiming victory, but Styles has turned that one around all of a sudden. Styles now brings him in, drops him there. Oh, hang on. This is a great opportunity for Styles. He's in an opening right now. AJ Styles, phenomenal forearm to Callihan. And it may well be dismay for Sami Callihan, as it could well be 2 losses in 2 weeks. Cover by Styles. There's 2. And oh, he kicks out at 2. Incredible heart shown there by Sami Callihan, but it seems to be coming to a quick and abrupt end. AJ Styles. Styles clash. As if Sami Callihan wasn't in enough pain being busted open, Styles just added to it with 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles wins that one. Sami Callihan had a tough, tall order in front of him, but he went all the way. He gave it face value. He took Styles at face value, and he went all the way with him. Great win there for Styles. Oh my God, what's going on here? It's Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family, able to play to their strengths. The mind game's being played. Styles is busted open. Wyatt decked him with ease. Bray Wyatt. The mind games have floored Styles, and not only on top of that, Bray Wyatt made him bleed for Sister Abigail. But it doesn't seem as if it is all just action for Bray Wyatt. It seems a few words now are to be said from the Eater of Worlds. And Bray Wyatt, speaking of Sister Abigail, he proclaims to her that that one was for Sister Abigail, to make up for the Wyatt family's failings, to make sure that Sister Abigail does not punish unto Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt pleasing this mysterious Sister Abigail figure to the best of his extent. And Bray Wyatt says vengeance is on its way for the Wyatt family. Revenge is on its way for the Wyatt family. And Bray Wyatt finishing things off by saying Braun Strowman and Aleister Black himself, they are ready, geared up, and are determined to claim the goal that they held on ECW back to being their own. Styles and Michaels had it lucky on one night. Samoa Joe will not be so on No Way Out. One swift word of a warning. Run! Well, there we go. Bray Wyatt's had his time to speak, because now Bray Wyatt has got to get to action, and he gets to it right away. It is time for Bray Wyatt to go one-on-one with the man who his Aleister Black will meet this Sunday at No Way Out. The Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, on his way towards the ring here for battle in this one. Joe is ready. Joe gave it his all last week against Callihan, only to be blindsided after by Aleister Black, who sacked over the body of Samoa Joe as if to goad him to being prepared for No Way Out. But here tonight, Samoa Joe's got to be prepared for just that by going one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. We just saw Wyatt lay out AJ Styles, and somehow the mind games of the Wyatt family were able to work even better with AJ Styles suddenly being busted open out of the blue. I hope the same doesn't happen for Samoa Joe, because this Sunday when Black and Joe have respectively what they had at Heatwave, which was a war, it'll be, I want to see that. I don't want to see mind games closing the victory. I want to see a war and only one man standing out at the top of it. But here we go, 2 big horses going at it here. Man who can dish out a lot of punishment, but also take that amount as well. Here we go. Even though Joe is a technically sufficient machine, when it comes to a game of strikes with him, you do not want to mess around with Samoa Joe. He knows exactly how to hit, where to hit, how hard to hit. And he makes sure that you'll remember what Samoa Joe did to you on one night, wherever. For Bray Wyatt, it's going to be here tonight in Japan, as Samoa Joe goes to work very early on, taking a page out of Greatness's book with a buckle bomb for Bray Wyatt. But he shows just how easy he's able to hit it as well. Samoa Joe now early on. Another powerbomb maybe, or a sidewinder powerbomb, certainly. Now what'll Joe look for here? Well, whatever he attempted, Wyatt, quick to counter, clothesline, and they both go down. Samoa Joe now. Oh, there's a German suplex. What a beautiful bridge after it. There's the technical masterpiece of Samoa Joe being aired. And there is a smart mindset by him, trying to sweep the leg of Wyatt. Great step to the side by Bray. And now he's able to try and maintain a little bit of control in this match, but it's only for a short amount of time because there's Joe with the reversal. Samoa Joe now looking for something. Wyatt counters his way out of it, and Wyatt nails a German suplex this time around. We are back and forth in this one thus far. Oh, Samoa Joe quickly changing that around though. Back to his side of the fence, I guess you could say, with that hard overhead, belly-to-belly overhead suplex. Look at the strength of Joe now. I hope Aleister Black is paying close attention to this one, because that was something else to behold. Bray Wyatt there with a fireman's carry reversal. Front face lock now, and a harsh elbow. But he's sent for a ride there by Samoa Joe, and Joe looks to continue on with the offense. Samoan drop. And now a great opening for Samoa Joe to hit the senton splash on top of that. That is a lot of power coming down on you. Aleister Black will certainly feel that power once more this Sunday at No Way Out. Of course, the last time they met was just a war between the two. Nothing to gain, no respect to be there. Just a war between two men who hated one another. And it was Joe who came out on top that night, but will he be able to do it again with a title on the line at No Way Out? That maintains to be seen. Wyatt's trying to give him a tough time here, but Bray Wyatt is being shown just how dangerous Samoa Joe is heading into No Way Out. Wyatt in huge trouble here. Is this the fate of Black this Sunday? Muscle buster by Joe. And it could already close in on a victory for Samoa Joe. Into the cover he goes. Wyatt in trouble. There's two. There's three. Samoa Joe rampages to another win. And you are going to want to pay very, very close attention to this one, Aleister Black, if you want to walk out of No Way Out still with that TV title. And oh my god, not again. Wyatt mind games being played again. It's Braun Strowman. You want to talk about old rivals of Joe? Here is the original old rival for Samoa Joe. The man who tormented him. The man who dragged every essence out of Samoa Joe. The man who drove him to his limit. Braun Strowman's here, and Joe's going to fight back against him. Joe proving he's not afraid of anyone, especially of all people, Braun Strowman. But Strowman is trying to make sure that Joe, under no circumstance, is going to make it to No Way Out in one piece. Oh no, here it comes. No matter who you are, you feel the pain of this one for some time. Strowman with a running power slam. AJ Styles down. AJ Styles? No. Samoa Joe down and for sure out. Madness. Absolute madness. Everything that has just transpired has been completely and utterly madness. That's the only word that can be used to define it all. And now the Wyatt family trifecta, I guess you can say, finishes off here with the only one of them to be holding a belt right now, the TV champion, Aleister Black, heading towards the ring to do battle with the #1 contender for the ECW Championship, Bobby Roode. Aleister Black just watched his #1 contender be flattened out in the ring by the running power slam, but Joe, off camera, still got back up to his feet, still walked off, showing that Joe is still ready for this man this Sunday. I love this one already, and I love how good it's going to be. I love how much intensity and pure hatred there is going to be this Sunday. I couldn't ask for anything more, in all honesty. But Aleister Black, the mindset that he's able to carry, and almost the tactical genius that he is within the ring, a master manipulator and a master of mind games. He wouldn't be in the Wyatt family if he couldn't have some of that going for him. We'll go right now, one-on-one against the ECW, the number one contender for the ECW Championship. No, by no means is he going to be the ECW Champion. Aleister Black will look to try and weaken Bobby Roode, both mentally and physically, heading into this Sunday. But even here, even in Japan, even in Niigata, the following is still the same as always for the glorious one, Bobby Roode. Wherever we go, wherever it is in the world, one thing can all be agreed on: that Bobby Roode's theme you can't help but sing along to, and that's for sure here. Roode, contrary to belief, I like Roode. I really do. I dig this guy as a talent. He's a really solid wrestler. But he's got himself involved with the wrong guy. He's got himself playing the wrong game. He's trying to go face to face with the greatest wrestler alive today. The greatest wrestler ever, actually. Screw the alive today. He's trying to go toe-to-toe with Seth Rollins, who is in the peak of his career, the pinnacle of it. And I know what Seth Rollins did was a little bit far-fetched. I know injuring him and taking him out for 2 months was something quite extreme. But what you got to remember is, this is Seth Rollins. He can literally do whatever he wants. And the fact is simple, because he's the best. And yes, Roode can oppose him all he wants. Yes, Roode can send him the threats of losing this Sunday all he wants. But Seth Rollins has been through far greater and far more than Bobby Roode. And he'll illustrate that this Sunday when Roode, no matter how hard he fights and no matter what he gives, is unable to overcome the man who was redesigned, rebuilt and reclaimed ECW. But here we focus on this main event. Roode and Black one-on-one. What will happen here? Look at these strikes by Roode early on, trying to almost play a striking game with Aleister Black, and Black letting him know that that was an awful idea. And for it looked like maybe a wheelbarrow, a cartwheel kick, or not a cartwheel kick, a kitchen sink, that's the one. Gets his way out of the belly to belly, there does Bobby Roode. And now Roode with a swinging neck breaker takes down Aleister Black. Quick start here between two men who are intensely waiting for this Sunday. And speaking of this Sunday, I didn't even know he was here. What a lovely surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been blessed with Seth Rollins here. He wasn't even supposed to be here, and he's come out. He's come out to have a close eye on this one. He's come out to have a close eye on this incredible main event. That's how loyal Seth Rollins is. I told him, champ, take the week off. Train for No Way Out. But no, look at how great he is. He's so great that he just wants to fight. God, what a champ. What a man Rollins is. You gotta love him. You gotta love him, don't you? Really, and now look at this. Ever since he's showing up, Aleister Black all of a sudden has control in this one. Roode has dropped his guard at the sight of Seth Rollins. Cover here now by Black. After the Hangman's DDT, only gets a 1 count. Went for a drop kick there. Great counter by Bobby Roode to be fair to him, and a DDT there. Plants. Aleister Black down now, and Roode is getting a little bit more fired up. Clothesline by the glorious one, and a big knee in the back. The heavily tattooed back, but of course, those tattoos aren't going to shield him from any damage. Spine buster there by Roode. The wheels are really turning, but Seth Rollins is making sure to throw a wrench in the works for Bobby Roode. Just giving him some tips and tricks, maybe. Just reminding him how to take down Aleister Black. Black now up to his feet. And look at how Black is able to shut down temporarily there whatever was planned in the mindset of Bobby Roode. And now it's Aleister Black in control in this one. Why, Roode? Why'd you get so distracted? Seth Rollins slipping in a chain. I want to see if Bobby Roode will resort to such desperate tactics to cheat in a tough match already against Aleister Black. We know the glorious one's not afraid to get underhanded. Let's see if he's, willing to go so underhanded that he'll use a chair to try and beat the champion. Something that he won't get to be coming out of this Sunday. What a counter there. What a counter by Aleister Black. Look up at that man and realise that was an absolutely incredible reversal. Black drags him into the middle of the ring here. Since Seth Rollins has shown up, it's been all Aleister Black for the most part. Big kick in the back. And Aleister Black feels like something on it. Oh, here we go. A sitting Dragon Sleeper. Look at how Roode's neck is wrenched back there as a result of it, and his back is in agony as well. Roode gets his way out of it though. Roode able to capitalize. Roode now with a glorious DDT. And Bobby Roode is looking to seal the victory after that glorious DDT. There's one, there's two, and oh, look at him. Look at how genius Aleister Black is. His foot on the rope there. Bobby Roode shouting to Seth Rollins, come on Roode, Rollins did nothing wrong. And what a kick out there by Aleister Black. Fair play. He really showed his worth in being able to hang in after that glorious DDT. Really the toughest being given to him, courtesy of the #1 contender. The referee removing the chair, give credit where credit's due. Bobby Roode didn't use it, but Roode now is crawling towards Rollins as if begging for tips and advice here against Aleister Black. Well, you're going to get none, but what you are going to feel is a hell of a lot more pain from this man. Uranagi by Aleister Black, and now he goes up to the top rope, but look at how Roode is right back up to his feet. Yeah, incredible there by Roode to get up to his feet as quickly as he did and get right back into the business at hand. Roode now, clothesline, what a roll up there by Black. Roode's feet are in the ropes though. Roode rolls out of the way, still got a lot of fight left in him. German suplex attempt, counter by Bobby Roode. What a main event this one's being thus far. Seth Rollins playing a real close eye in this one. And it has to be said, Aleister Black is having some difficulties dealing with a man who may well be distracted by Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins is certainly not distracting him. This match really heating up between these two men right now, back and forth, and Roode getting twisted up in the ropes there for whatever reason. Roode getting confused. Black isn't going to stand around and wait. The television champion flooring Roode right there. And look at how Black is able to capitalize right away there on this opening. That Dragon Sleeper once more. Bobby Roode got confused by the ropes, got caught up in them for whatever reason. Amateur mistake by a #1 contender. But he fights on here against Aleister Black. And Black now making life difficult for the challenger. Brainbuster. And Roode, I don't know where that came from. Roode's busted open, and it looks pretty damn bad for the glorious one. Up to the top rope now goes Aleister Black, and a double foot stomp. That one should end it. Victory could well be on its way for Aleister Black, and it's all thanks to a rookie mistake by Bobby Roode. Aleister Black wins. What a huge victory for the television champion. Victory for Aleister Black in the best way possible over the #1 contender. And as Seth Rollins watches from afar, the #1 contender for Aleister Black's championship is here. Samoa Joe back up to his feet after the attack on him. And there is Joe now, going after Aleister Black before this Sunday. Clearly, Joe didn't take too kindly to the random attack from Braun Strowman, and is now taking his anger out on the television champion, who he meets in a huge rematch from a few months ago. This Sunday, Joe now in position. What will he look for on the champion? Is the champion in huge trouble right now? Oh, it seems so. This is looking bad for him. German suplex, almost keeled over essentially from it. Samoa Joe is on a warpath right now to take out Aleister Black and to make sure he isn't anywhere near 100%. How about another one for Black, doing that neck before No Way Out? Oh, and now Joe is gonna get Black right where he wants him. Aleister Black looking to be decimated here. Perhaps a prelude to this Sunday. The triple suplexes by Joe. That could well spell. And now with Aleister Black on, all of a sudden he's replaced by Seth Rollins. The ECW champion didn't seem too happy about Samoa Joe gate crashing the party, and the champ's gonna make him pay for it. Rollins hasn't got Roode to send a message to, but he'll use Joe just the same. Curb stomp for Joe. Could that be what will be the fate of his challenger this Sunday? It may well be as we look at the replay, but wait. Roode's back. Roode's back. Oh my god, Roode's come from nowhere, and he's taken Rollins to the outside. I don't know how. Can we get a camera on this already? Get on the action. Finally, we're here, we got a camera on it. And on the outside you can see Rollins just quickly recovered, and he wants to go in the crowd for some reason. He wants to go in amongst his people to brawl with Bobby Roode. And Roode will take him up on that phone. Maybe not. It doesn't seem as if Roode wants anything to do with being in amongst the Japanese crowd here. The glorious one, intent on his eyes being locked on one person, and that's the champion. Here we go now. These two are going to get it on. I don't know where Joe is. I don't know where Joe ended up going. But clearly Bobby Roode has something in his mind with Seth Rollins right now. Roode, who's just been through that grueling matchup with Aleister Black, is able somehow to get the upper hand on Rollins. God damn it, Rollins, do something. Don't just stand there like a buffoon and let Bobby Roode get the upper hand. Oh my god, no. No. Roode, don't you dare. Roode, don't you dare. There's a time and a place, Roode. Don't injure the man before this Sunday. Into the ring post. Oh my god. No, we don't need a replay on that. Come on. Come on, guys in the back. That was not appropriate. Kicked his head into the ring post. But Bobby Roode dragging, essentially, the lifeless body of Seth Rollins onto the most painful place imaginable, so everyone can see the message being sent. Bobby Roode with a glorious DDT on the entrance ramp. Rollins is going to feel that one. Roode, the son of a bitch that he is, stands tall. And if there was one thing Bobby Roode wanted to show, it was this. Roode, somehow with the blood off his face, must have cleaned it up real quick. But god damn it, Bobby Roode, this is the final image he wanted. Taking the pose, the iconic pose that Seth Rollins held at SummerSlam when he won that title for a third time. Bobby Roode strikes the same one here tonight, but it's all a facade, it's all a sham. There's one thing between holding the belt and owning the belt. And this Sunday, Seth Rollins will show why he owns that belt. Seth Rollins will show why he also holds that belt. Seth Rollins will show why he is the ECW champion. And Seth Rollins will show why he owns you, Bobby Roode. You have suddenly amped this one up to inflate your own self-ego, when in reality you've got yourself in a whole bag of worms that I'm sure you can't wriggle your way out of. Best of luck this Sunday, Roode. Now you're gonna need it after what you did here tonight. You think Rollins is gonna go easy on you? You think Rollins is gonna be 100%? Guess again. You're not glorious anymore. You're just a punk. And Seth Rollins will make sure that you are aware of your position at No Way Out. That in Sepso Universe mode. Roode, this Sunday, I respect you, but you are screwed.